Good morning, Taiwan, and thank you for sharing your day with us. I am Louisa here to keep you informed and entertained. 欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给您最新最有趣的新闻。After 5 years of talks and negotiations, the answer is yes. South Korea and the U.S. have just announced that their free trade agreement will go into effect on March 15th. According to a U.S. official, the deal is set to significantly boost the American economy by creating tens of thousands of jobs for the country while doubling its exports by 2015. 美国与南韩签订 FTA， 未来会更加强两国之间的经贸合作。
At a news conference in Seoul, the South Korean Minister for Trade announces that a controversial free trade deal with the United States will go ahead on March 15.
As you well know, our trade with Europe has been hit hard because of the recent financial crisis there. Coming at a time such as this, the U.S. Free Trade Agreement is a positive opportunity for our exports to the United States, which is the world's largest developed market, to grow significantly.
The pact was signed nearly 5 years ago, but has faced tough resistance from trade and farm lobbies in both countries and may yet face further hurdles in South Korea, where the opposition has said it will try to repeal the act.
The deal was initiated in February of 2006 and signed on July 30th, 2007. The outcome of the additional negotiation on February 11th, 2011 was also signed. So finally, the deal is officially taking effect on March 15th.
Although the left-leaning opposition initiated the agreement when in power, they now oppose it because they believe legislative changes will strip Seoul of any ability to defend its interests.
And it may be a good day for the traders in Greece and in the U.S. on Tuesday after the country secured its second bailout. However, many are still skeptical whether the nation will be able to sustain its austerity measures and whether the 130 billion euro rescue package can fix a battered economy. Greece 获得第二次的纾困金，但是这个消息并没有刺激 Europe 的股市上涨，因为很多人对未来的 economy 还是很悲观。
There was a sea of green when Athens Stock Exchange opened just hours after EU finance ministers finally agreed to give Greece a second bailout. Stocks rose in early trade before falling back, losing just over 2%. But the news failed to ignite other European markets. After months of turmoil in the Eurozone, many analysts fear the deal changes nothing. Richard Maguire from Rabobank.
It's sort of a question of going one step forward, two steps backward. For now, the Greek deal arguably has diverted rather than averted disaster. But as I say, this is probably really just the next bailout and really only the first attempt at restructuring.
The euro jumped slightly, gaining 0.5%, but French stocks were slightly down. Dominique Dequy is a fund manager in Paris.
We have seen that the market has anticipated all the news, but we will see what will happen on the Greek economy for the next few months or next few years, and we will see what will be the next package, if it will be a next package.
Traders in Frankfurt were dressed for carnival season, but there was little to celebrate. The DAX was also slightly down after hitting a 7-month high on Tuesday. Oliver Roth is from German bank Close Brothers Seidler.
The markets were already expecting a solution in Greece. So far, some of the investors are now thinking that this is the end of the rally. On the other hand, we can see some rising in the spreads of Portuguese bonds, and therefore we are a little bit concerned about a second Greece in Portugal.
Greece may be able to pay its bills for the time being, but many investors now fear Portugal could be next in line for a second bailout. Their borrowing costs have soared, reigniting fears about contagion throughout the rest of the Eurozone and even beyond.
And it's another fight between the police and the family members of the inmates as they demand for the remains of their loved ones who were either burned or suffocated to death when a blaze raged through an overcrowded prison in Honduras last week. Honduras 监狱大火之后，家属到殡仪馆认尸，但是遗体的保存很不完整，让家属很不满。
Relatives of inmates killed in the Honduras prison fire last week pushed down the fence to a makeshift morgue. Soldiers guarding the morgue are unable to hold back the grief-stricken crowd and can only watch as people force open a trailer to discover dozens of body bags inside. With no morgue large enough to accommodate the hundreds of corpses, body bags have been dumped on the back of trucks and litter the ground at the site.
They are rotting. With no cool room, how are they going to return the bodies? My brother is already dead. Return him. They've already killed him.
Authorities say at least 357 people died in the blaze that began late on Tuesday, February 14 at a prison home some 75 kilometres north of Tegucigalpa. Local radio reports said many inmates were burned to death in their cells. The prison housed more than 850 inmates, well above its capacity.
The photos that have been lost to the devastating disaster in Japan last March are slowly finding their way home, thanks to a devoted team of workers who assisted in sorting through more than 350,000 pictures belonging to the quake victims. 日本311大地震已经快要1年了，在日本有一群志工，他们保存和修复在地震中残骸的照片，要帮那些照片找回他们的主人。
The recovery efforts are still ongoing since the 9.0 magnitude earthquake and tsunami hit Japan last March. Meanwhile, some volunteers are helping to restore thousands of photos lost during the disaster and trying to bring them back to their owners. The photos were collected by firefighters, rescue workers, and citizens while they searched through the rubble. Satoko Kino, one of the paper conservators, said she knows how much one photo can mean to its owner.
I've really started to realize the depth and meaning that each and every photo has to it. And as such, I want to do what I can to return as many photos as possible.
The photos are first conserved in the fridge in order to stop bacteria and mold from growing. Then they get scrubbed and cleaned of the mud, dirt, and oil left by the massive wave. Once the photos are cleaned and packed into photo albums, they're taken around to temporary housing complexes in the area in the hopes of finding their owners. It can be an emotional reunion when tsunami evacuees find their photos, which can be the only thing that is left after the disaster.
I got one photo blown up and I was so thankful for that. I put it in a little frame and it brought tears to my eyes.
Thousands of more photos are still waiting to be processed and found. It could be a long process, but the 7-member photo conservation group will continue till the last photo is restored and returned to its owner.
And now turning to entertainment news, Nicolas Cage has failed to wow the moviegoers with his new flick, Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, over the President's Day holiday, while Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds managed to kick others to the curb after coming on top at the box office with Safe House. 本周的北美票房第1名是 Denzel Washington 的狡兔计划。整体来说，虽然有些新片进榜，像是 Nicolas Cage 的 Ghost Rider 2，但是成绩好像不是很理想。 Action thriller Safe House, which stars Washington as a wanted man, collected an additional $28 million during its second weekend in theaters, bringing its 11-day total to $82.6 million. Love drama The Vow, starring Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams, not only won the box office battle the previous weekend, but also continued to touch the hearts of romantics by taking the runner-up position with $26.6 million. The tearjerker has so far collected $88.5 million. Dwayne Johnson's family action tale, Journey to the Mysterious Island, earned $26.4 million at number 3, while the 3D Ghost Rider sequel by Nicolas Cage, who has been involved in a string of movie flops in recent years, debuted slightly below the industry expectations with $25.7 million.
And lift your curse.
That is one good thing I ever did.
That being the case, we better make sure he doesn't turn out to be the Antichrist.
Most viewers had good things to say about the love triangle comedy This Means War by Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine, and Tom Hardy. The film, which sees two CIA agents/friends fighting to win the affection of a lady, opened at number 5 with a moderate $20.4 million.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
I think we should lay down some ground rules.
I think we should. I don't think we should tell her that we know each other. Let's stay out of each other's way. Just let her decide. May the best man win.
It's been a perfect night.
Make it rain.
I'll be right back.
And young and lovely. From Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes.
Really? This is my friend. Okay, you can do this. They'll probably just shake hands. I think I'm gonna pass out.
I'm available to have sex with both of those guys just to test out stuff and see who comes back a winner.
Why is she listening to that old man? I have no idea.
I think my triggering mechanism was stuck in the... Oh my God!
And you can get some action and some laughs while at it from This Means War in theaters this Friday. And that's it for today's edition. I am Louisa Lee, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Meanwhile, stay with CTS for the latest weather update and for more top stories.